I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, I say this is righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get your sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me not know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crapper players. We are good enough. Remember to like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, Scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices, add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
All right, good evening and welcome back to I Am Sure Sports. We just concluded our EPL review show, a very good one, and then now we have a very fascinating discussion, interview, conversation we're going to have. This is someone that I know personally. You know, we grew up together, and his story, like I told you, is an inspiration to me. I believe it will also inspire you. So I hope you're locked in and you are excited about hearing this fascinating story. His name is Nascimento Blair. He is an aspiring writer who enjoys poetry and philosophy. He holds degrees from Mercy College to New York Theological Seminary. He has works published at Minutes Before 6 and on a writing platform called Medium. His poems and stories are a reflection of his life's experience. He has worked as a fellow at Columbia University and is deeply involved with justice impacted people to help them make sense of their lives and the way to turn next. He owns and operates his own limited liability company, Said G. Blair, where he sells his signature cosmetic and signature eyelash kits for women of all ages. He is a father, family man, and an advocate for humanity. And he's working on a new piece which will tell the story of someone who was wrongly convicted. He's also a former Calabar student. He's also a former big footballer. They used to give me some hard times, you know, played for Medhaven, Constant Spring, and all of that. Don't know if he still plays the sport right now or even follows the sport. Super intelligent from childhood. So I'm going to invite him on and we're going to have this discussion, and I hope something that you hear today would inspire you, or just a principle you can learn, are here to apply to your own life, just to add value to your own life. So help us welcome to the I Am Sure platform, Mr. Nascimento Blair.
Good evening, and thank you for the introduction. Thank you for having me too.
Yeah, man. My
You're gonna hear
pleasure.
you might hear noise in my background because office hours are closed, and I'm at home right now, so you might hear a little bit of noise.
Okay, not a problem. Totally understand. I don't know if I did justice to the introduction, so I don't know if you want to
I
formal
mean,
introduce.
when I heard it for a second, I was trying to remember, like, wow, okay, that doesn't sound bad. It's accurate, but sounds like there's still
All right.
more work to do.
All right, wonderful. All right. So tell us, I want you to begin by kind of sharing with us, your beginnings, your childhood, where in Jamaica you're from, and I know you're in the States now, and then just get us to the point where you transition from Jamaica to the States, and just some of the things you did as a football student at Calabar and the community you're from in Jamaica.
Wow, it's so this sounds like a trip down memory lane, right? Because you've given me a lot to ingest at first. So yeah, let's see where I start. So I was born and raised in White Avenue for younger part of my childhood, and then went to Mall Road um in the Kingston 11 area to live. My father was like my primary caregiver, and he had a son by another woman, which was my stepmother when I was growing up. So I've we went there to live, and I lived there for a while to meet
Sorry, I
five
think you're gonna have
children.
to either lean back a little because no, we're not
Oh,
right. Yeah. Are you? There you go. That's better. Yeah.
yeah, so what I'm saying is that I lived there for a while, about 9 years of my life, and I played football while I was there. I played prep school football. I played football for Donovan Prep, which was, I think, it was a Milo football. Milo, it was Milo sponsored. It was I think the two cups were the Alberga Cup and the Henriquez Cup. Those were the two cups. So I played football at a young age, so my development in football came early. And I went to Calabar High School. I passed my common entrance, and then I I laid it about 3 years after, in third from grade 9 at Calabar. I went back to White Avenue to live, uh, up by my mother's because my father had migrated to the U.S. So it was like a different type of transition. Me, but throughout it all, I played football. You say you want me to touch on my early years of football. The earliest years of football I can remember is, like I said, in playing prep school competition at a very young age. We had um opponents like you know schools actually. When I was young and I was playing football, you used to fret when you used to say you play a certain school, like we used to have a player like a Woolmans or like a Lanamans, because Lanamans have stone. Them time I think Oral was some Lanamans did have them youth at them time, so people shape because those were doing things that was considered wonderful and different for the sport at that time. And then a lot of people weren't even as developed as they were. Boys his age or our age would have other people who can remember who were, I would say, opponents of mine when I played against them. We have Nicholas Adler from Alvernia, but I remember we played a game and we have a 2-2 draw. Lanamans beat winner. Lanamans beat one Saturday. I think at the knockout cup in between. I think that was a Alberga Cup and
Yeah.
knockout. Them give it 3-1. But me, Mark Stone, and Stone not score. I don't know what that qualifies for. But I'd say, yeah, just it was football was early in my development. Then when I went to Calabar, I played Pepsi the second year. I think it was '94. But after a while, I was losing interest in it. And I remember a coach, my prep school coach, Mr. Pattinger. He was on compound one time when I was at Calabar and was walking past the office, and I saw him, and he called me. He was like, "Come here." I came to him. I was like, "What's going on?" He was like, "You playing football?" And I was like, "Nah." And I mean, the push that I received when I was younger, it wasn't really there too much because it's high school. You're trying to find your identity. Maybe like you just play football because you wanted your parents to see. Because my father used to come watch me a lot, so But now you are coming into your own understanding of yourself at 12 years old. So you're like, yeah, do I want to play football or do I don't want to play football? So Mr. Pottinger pushed me and I went to Pepsi training. And then from there, it was just Interfarm. And then, like you said, I played at Medhaven minor league. And then after minor league, I went to Constant Spring, play under 20 for about 2 years or 3 years, I think. Because I think I went there at 17. and I played under 20 till I was like 20, 21. After that I was at Honor Gardens, but make them team, and I just didn't show up because I was falling out of love with the sport because I was going through some trauma, you know, of my own. So at 21, I was just falling out of love with the sport, and I migrated to the US a little bit after that. I played in some competitions and some tournaments, but nothing ever really serious after that.
Okay. And then you migrated to the States, and then just tell us how your life transitioned. What was that like for you? You know, you had already moved from Marlow Road back to Whitehall Avenue, then from Whitehall Avenue now to the United States. What was that transition like for you? Did you enroll in school, and just how your life transitioned from there?
So when I came to the States, I actually came from Haven because I had left Whitehall when I was 19. Whitehall wasn't my address on paper. My address on paper was something. Just like my mother lived there, so I used to be there a lot. But I said, when I came to the US, I came to the US because I received a job opportunity to come here. Okay, so I applied for a job that I saw fit the qualifications, got the job, and I came here. And you know, got certain much needed documents that you needed at the time. So for me, falling out of love with football for the most part, because I consider myself a student of the sport, like I consider myself a student of knowledge. So falling out of it doesn't mean I wasn't watching. It doesn't mean I didn't still support my team and know what's going on with my English Premier League team and even other leagues that played at the time. But the transition for me was not rough. It was just different because I came here when the winter was leaving. I came to the US in March, like early March, and that's still winter. When I came here, there was snow on the floor. It was a different temperature. It was colder than coming out of the tropics of Jamaica and stuff like that. So for me, the transition was not as hard because, like I said, certain things were laid out for me, so document-wise, that you need to participate in this economy. So I didn't play too much competitive football, because I come in here, football come out of your mind. If you're not playing for some big club, is work. All of that go out the window because the US, you have to pay bills every time. You pay more bills, so you wonder, you know what I mean? In like, yeah, pay a lot of bills.
So it was a father. It was a father who, the migration was due to your father. Yes. No, you said work. You said
yeah, it was an economic opportunity. It wasn't to my father. I was given the decision by him, like, yo, listen, what do you want to do? Here. So I'll take this and see how this pans out. And so I took it. I was here working for about 2 years, and then I had a little bit of a rift with someone, and it took a wrong turn where I got myself in trouble. I got myself locked up. I was considered, the behavior that I displayed was considered at the time a little bit too extreme for the situation. Them say me take it to a next level. So what I did is pay the price. That's just how it is here. So I would say I paid the price for that. But while I was there, I took the time out to educate myself because I had the opportunity to go to school. So I invested in myself.
This has been in so the price that you were actually locked up, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you were locked up, and so it was while you were here that you educated yourself.
I would say while I was there,
enhanced.
Exactly, I enhanced my education because I left.
Yeah, because you're already a brilliant. So let me just tell people that he was already a brilliant person, because I knew him growing up, and we used to call him Nostradamus. Right? I don't know the kid from the Nazi. So he was already brilliant. So you enhance our further education.
Yes, I decided that I was gonna invest in myself and not wallow too much in the situation, like in self-pity, if I may, because being in a place like that it is desolate. It is hell on earth. Everything you've heard about in Revelation, you see it there. You see the crazy things. You see,
really?
Yeah. All of what them tell us, all of what you read, because them like to tell us if you read the Bible when you're there and you read it and you look at back around you. So like, I guess the only thing you don't see when the 10 crown, the one dragon come out of the sea with the 10 crowns, and speaking in one language. I guess that's the only part you don't see. But for the most of it, how you can describe hell on earth, that's exactly what
Why
happens.
people always make it sound though that the truth is there are many persons who make it sound like prison in the United States is this place that is very good. It's not bad. You have nice clean place to rest. You get to eat. You do all of that. There's no problems. You go to school. You go to work. You go to the gym. You go and watch TV. You play your football. You just. There's always this impression for persons who probably have not been in it. You're saying that it is hell on earth.
Yes, and I'm also saying a prison, no matter how comfortable it is still a prison because there are rules that govern places like those where you might not be able to hug your parents or hug a family member or even see them. It depends on how extreme whatever behavior that you might have displayed that, the sanctions might be applied to you because I never know you could end a prison and go to prison in a prison. Yeah. Stuff like that where you have places that's called solitary confinement or SHU, what them call the box, where you could be there and you could do something and you could be inside of like a little 4x4 room with a toilet in it for like 5 years and you can't go out.
5 years?
Sometimes
5
7
days.
years. It depends on how extreme your violation is or was.
Yeah, whoa.
Yes, so like I said, a prison, no matter how advanced or how comfortable people might make it seem, is still a prison. Because when you decide that you are going to violate any type of societal norms that are linked to laws and stuff like that, then the result is usually that. And it's not something that is, like I said, it's not something to hold up. But like I said, if you are able to survive it, because people there kill themselves, people commit suicide, people kill people there, people do all type of things you would think, occurs in regular society. It's the same thing. It's just that it's in a microcosm because it happens within within walls, and like it happens in a community, and a very small community, like 2,500 men, and it depends on how big the prison is. In any event, like I said, I invested in myself. That's one of the things that I did, and I played some football, won some tournaments there. Because you'd be surprised, it's just like everywhere else. People with talent. Yeah, just like everywhere else. And I've met good people there too, because you have people there who are actually innocent too. So I met good people there, and you have people, even though you wouldn't say 100%
innocent and incarcerated.
Yes. In 2007, I don't know how many times this figure has been updated, but they are like New York Law Journals and different other mediums of information that we received. At one point, they published that they were, a hypothetical figure, suspected to be 10,000 innocent people that was locked up. But that time, the prison population in New York State was 73,000 people. So, yeah, we have 10,000 people figure who are innocent.
That's more than 10%.
Yes. So it was, like I said, it was an eye opener. It was one of those moments, like, you have the fork in the road. You decide, are you going to go further down the rabbit hole? Because I've met people there. When I asked them how long they were locked up, they said they've been locked up 30 years. And I said, okay, what was your original sentence? They say things like 1 to 3, meaning he came to prison with 13 months and 30 years after he's still here, called a jail body. Little things like that. Whether it be whatever.
So a person goes to his original sentence was like a year or 2 years and ends up in prison for 30 years.
Sometimes more, yes. Catch a new charge, that's what it's called.
Yeah, so you see that there's a rabbit hole, you either a fork in the road, you can either go down the rabbit hole or the option that you took, which is to invest in yourself.
Exactly. The option that I took was to invest in myself and decide that this is not me. This is not going to be me. Like, this is not going to be my story, or not the only thing. So, like I said, I invested in myself by going to school. They have a campus. Schools have campus there because, like I said, it's a tight-knit community, and it's a microcosm of society's macrocosm. So everything that you see out here, it's there. But like I said, it's just that you have to do it within walls. So I went to school. I did a college placement test. I scored high, so I had the opportunity to go to college. So I did, and continued. Got my associates in 2014, my bachelor's in 2016, and my master's degree in 2018. And did some writing. I have an unpublished poetry book it's just a collection of poetry over the years. I have so many more that I didn't have the opportunity to put inside of a book form until, like, you meet professors and they help you part of the development, because sometimes when you're doing your research and you're doing work, you've done great research, and they see it and they say, you shouldn't get rid of these, you should compile them. So you are able to compile all these things inside of you're able to compile these things inside of, like, uh, writing different writings, and then next thing you know, you have a book, and they say, yeah, this is actually how I do it. You put an introduction on it. Might go in there and edit a few more things to form the theme, and next thing you've compiled a book. So I was able to compile some works. Some have been published at MB6, minutesbefore6.com, and I used to write for a writing platform called Medium. And if you go to the Justice Center, the Heyman Center for Humanity at Columbia University, put my name in, you might see work that I've done with them, I've written for them, and that's published on the University Campus Journal and the Humanities Journal too.
Okay, and you do presentations or speak with persons in now
I,
to motivate, inspire them?
yes, because one of the things that I do also is advocate. Uh, I'm a part of an organization at the Justice Center uh, called JIE, Justice in Education. And that is what they do is that people who are formerly incarcerated and they are coming home, is they if you come home with college credits, you could actually transfer there to Columbia University, an Ivy League school like that, and get those credits, get accredited for them, and get to transfer them and do a bachelor's degree at Columbia University. You understand?
Okay.
Your only qualification is that you're justice impacted, meaning you are formerly incarcerated. And I was one of the proponents for stuff like that. And I still advocate. I still find candidates, coming home. Hey, listen, this is what you started this journey when you were there. If you weren't able to finish, come here, and
You can.
you could continue, because statistics also has proved that people with a bachelor's degree are able to work $1 million more than their academic compatriots with a high school diploma or a GED. You over your lifetime, you earn $1 million
Yeah.
more, basically. And this is the reason why you could see, because America is a credential-based society. That's one of the things people need to understand too. Like, it's not just who you know in America, but sometimes what you know. Because you'll be standing around and you'll be talking about somebody. Say you talk about like a Schopenhauer, or you'll be talking about a Nietzsche, or you're talking about a Wagner, or even some type of, or even Claude McKay, somebody, and then someone might turn and look at you and say, hey, where school you to go? You say, oh, I just read some self-help book. You will be ridiculed, or people walk away, because it's not like you've never written a research paper before. You want to hear someone talk. You have no idea, basically. So
Yeah.
it's a
Also, in
credential.
this case, it's important that your bachelor, because people want to find out which school you go, not
Yes.
just who you have
Because
met,
you have
but
a lot
what
of
you know.
online colleges too. You have a lot of fraud colleges, online colleges, who
Okay.
step up and say they're offering these things, but they're not accredited. So you waste money and not. It's just like everything else. You do research on it. Just because someone tells you this looks like this, you go ahead and do your research, and information like that you gather by the type of I believe educational experience you've developed for yourself. So because like I said, it's the first step. It's not the most important step, but it's the first step.
Yeah. I mean, it's so interesting, right? Because what I'd love to know, because there may be some other youngster who probably at that same place where the fork is in the road, and they're contemplating the decision. Should I go down the rabbit hole, or is it realistic for me to take this path out? What were some of the things that, kind of inspired you or gave you the willpower with all that was happening in your life as a young man to really consciously make that decision of your will that, listen, I'm not going down this rabbit hole? What are some of those things that helped you in that process that you could share with somebody who's listening?
For one, I would say what I was accused of, I didn't do. I don't know what I'm talking about. That's one. Two, I was never a dunce person, and whenever really, like you said, when we were growing up in Jamaica, we had things in our community, events in our community, but we decided that we didn't want those things. We wanted more. Not just we weren't gonna get dealt with in life or labeled just because of the address that is on our resumes. So I always wanted things for myself. So even landing there, I told myself that this wasn't gonna be my only story. There would be more to me because I was always told my entire life that you have a lot of potential. You are not an average student. You're an above average student. I've been told this my entire life because when I passed my common entrance in 1993, went to Calabar, I get a common entrance certificate of the scores that I had in English. It's a long time. I don't remember what exactly was written on it, but I got a certificate from them. I'll probably get 100 in English. I don't know. Anyway, but I got a certificate for it. So I was always a student of the word, like I said, and that's one of the reasons why my bio, philosophy and things like that. I begun my journey by reading and understanding the world, like the Alex Tocqueville, Thomas Hobbes, Leviathan, John Stuart Mill. I've read books published 300, 400, 500 years ago. Even the King James Bible, the one that we presently use, which was what 1411, I think so.
Yeah.
For me, it wasn't too much of a push in the right direction. For me, it was finding that direction and staying with it, especially with all the negativity that was transpiring around me at the time. Because I've seen some wicked things, and I've seen some good things, and I've seen some prosperous things, and I've seen some conniving things. Okay, so for me, it's all about what I
Can you
want.
tell us some of the things that, because like for me, never been like, is there anything in those things like, what are some of the most gruesome things that you have witnessed that could have really turned you, or you're not able to share on that? Like,
I've seen people pull people across the table and stab them in their eye while we were eating. What are you gonna do? Flinch, run, jump, duck? Eh, Anyhow, so like I said, the decision is because like I said, I wanted more for myself. Even when I landed there, I learned the law, studied the law because you have to learn the law because the law is what put you there. So you have to learn the law to get out. And like I said, some of my influences, even when I was growing up in Jamaica, I had Dr. Davis, I had my godmother. I'm not gonna call her name here, but those people were influential, and I always tell myself that those people wanted more from me in life. It's just maybe my decision at the time made me realize that I probably didn't want it for myself too. So, like I said, I invested in myself. So what I would tell someone is that you get yourself in a place like that, count how many friends you can count on one hand. And when you count your friends on one hand, know that it is noted statistically that your success in life is directly linked to the five closest people to you in life. So if the five people in life are part with a thief, you're gonna turn thief too. If the five people in life are part with a liar, listen carefully to what I'm saying. If the five people in life are part with them a liar, you're gonna turn a liar too. You might not realize it, but it does. The French sociologist named Gustave Le Bon wrote a book called The Crowd, and he psychoanalyzed crowds and how people give up their individuality when they become part of groups. And not just that, but how even analyzed how it's important to be a part of groups, to be a part of organizations. So, and I think that's one of the things where most youths in like inner city where where we
yeah,
grew up weren't given the opportunity to be a part of certain group. Like football is the only group unless you
Yeah.
find a group of men, on the corner on the roadway, they can get along with. But we define ourselves, believe it or not, in packs. Like, human beings are pack animals, believe it or not. Some people like to say we're clannish. I like to say we're pack animals, like wolves. So, like I said, I had people who were on the outside who were rooting for me, and I met people, men and women there, who they were rooting for me too. Like, you just meet people, and I guess it's your spirit or you give off, and people like, hey, you could do better, not just be a victim to this place. So my thing I would tell to anyone, like, judge your create your circle. Don't follow nobody. Create a circle of people who you trust. Whatever loyalty test you give them, whatever you feel like you are okay with, how people talk to you, how people treat you, the type of things you talk about, the type of things people want to do around you, with you, stuff like that. And from there, that is how you will be able to navigate your own path in life, and even in a place like that, because you're going to decide that, okay, I want to do these things, things that's getting me ready to get out of a place like this, or me preparing myself. And for me, it was mind, body, and soul. I work out, I read school, and whenever I was never too religious, but I consider myself spiritual. So for me, it was more like, I read a quote once, right? And someone said, religion are for those who've been to hell, spirituality for those who don't want to go back. And I like that quote. So I don't consider myself religious. So, studied religion, but most importantly, read a little bit, but prayed, but not too much, because sometimes I feel some pray too much. I don't know if you could say that. I don't know if you could say that, but sometimes I feel like that. And to the original question, like you said, my thing would be to tell people not to. Sometimes don't bite off more than we can chew in a life. Bottom line, because even people who you think uh, might be beside you, rooting for you, some of them just that way to take your place. Be surprised. One of us are to push that off of the stage. Look at it. So they can just, yeah, people get like that. So know what you want for yourself. Know who you are allowed to be in your circle, and who you are allowed to be as close to you as possible, who you're allowed to be around you, to know your plans, to know the ultimate decision of what you're doing. But don't go through life distrusting people, because you can also reject your blessing by distrusting everybody. One thing me always do in life, I always give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Always. Now, and you know this from me, from my little youth. You know this from we young. Even people might say,
Yeah.
oh, this person, that person, whatever.
Yeah.
I always give people the
That is
benefit of the
true.
doubt.
Yeah.
I allow you prove me wrong. But everybody who enter any situation will give them the benefit of the doubt. That's all I'm. I've always been like that. And that's one of the things I never allowed my experience to take away from me, even though it was a distrustful place. But that's how that's how I go into the world.
Yeah,
I
that
believe
must
the
have been
style of the
hard.
world.
Yeah.
I would say yes and no. There was times when you were kind to people who don't deserve to be kind to. Understand? And there were times when you were a little too giving to people, where you have to make people independent too, because in life you're gonna meet givers and you're gonna meet takers, and people will take, and because you're a giver, you might not realizing they're taking too much off you, from you, and excuse me, that's strange, and not see how that somehow that tears you down. You understand?
Yeah.
So even in a place like that, because remember, you're gonna meet people where they've been locked up for. I remember when I just got there, I met someone who was locked up 25 years. And when you go to a place like that, you get what is a DIN number, it was your department ID number. You're not a name anymore. You're a number now, because they take your name. That's the first thing they do. They take your name. You're a number. So I saw somewhere the number. Your DIN number is the year you went there and what number you walked through the gates to go there. So if you went there 1995, your DIN number would say 957001. Mean you're the 7001 person that took to the gate in 1995. And it will go along. 7002 will be 95, and A would be
Okay.
the person center. So it'd be 95, like an A number, and 7002, 7003, depends on where you walk in. And then when it's 98, then the next person is at 98. 99, next number is 99. They go into different numbers
Yeah.
each year.
Okay.
So you'll go there and see people with 69. I mean, they have a 69 number. They've been there since 1969.
What?
So these are, yeah, that's nothing. You know, I met a few members of the Black Panther Party. I won't call their names here either. I learned about the Black Panthers too. You know, I learned about Actually, you know, you want to hear something funny? That is the first place I read the Jamaican Constitution. I read it there. I read Marcus Garvey's poem, The Tragedy of White Injustice. I read Marcus Garvey's entire work, actually, which was posthumous published by Amy Jacques Garvey's wife. Learned that too. And like I said, we even get started.
Cool. How many books did you read in the time of your class?
Honestly speaking,
you can't count.
If I read 1,000 books, I ain't start reading books yet. Yeah, if it's like a name it, because it wasn't just philosophy. I read philosophy, metaphysics, you know, and then I had school. I had to read their school books, the occult, you know, a lot of when I said the occult, you know, for people who
Is
don't
it
know,
all the
religion,
works of you read all
is
the Jamaican Constitution? Why was that important for you to know?
It was important for me because we had organizations that were in there that were based on the culture, like Jamaican culture, like a CAU, Caribbean African Unity Organization, which caters to the Jamaican population or the West Indian population that's locked up there. Because when you go there, someone will come from Trinidad, Jamaica, everywhere. There are people, Italians, Jewish people, everywhere from all walks of life is there. So you're gonna see different people. So you know, one of the things
you learn about like the Black Panthers and whoa, that's interesting.
Yeah, I learned about the young lords. You know, people like you see on the TV. Juan Gonzalez, who's a host on Democracy Now. Juan Gonzalez went to Columbia University too, and he was a young lord. Him, Felipe Luciano, Geraldo Rivera that you see on TV. Yeah, them dudes was young lords. They held up Congress in Puerto Rico, yeah, and different places. And those young lords. Let us know the Black Panther. They were just the Latino version of the Black Panthers. And the Black Panthers aren't spookish like people think, you know, or believe. They just created a different point plans of, you know, stuff to go inside their community. That's all. People think it was not okay because people like people underneath their thumbs. So this is why they were treated as such. But you know, to your original question, I want to stick to that. Is you know, we allow, like I said, justice impacted people. So, but we also try to steer those who we see are going down that
right.
realm.
That's what I wanted to get to.
We try to steer them out of
prevention.
That. We are what you call credible messengers, because we have organizations too that we form called credible messengers. Meaning, like sometimes, you know, we might be called, depends on the organization, you know, I'm a part of, like the JIE Justice Center at Columbia University, stuff like that, where it might be called, you know, it might be a lecture, it might be a community rally. And, you know, we have these young kids, young gangbangers, you know, they need people who have been in those shoes to have conversations with. You know, we let them know that, listen, what you're chasing, what you're running down, it's not all that. It's not as chalked up as it is to be. It's because, first, when you get locked up, you're not the only person who's locked up. Your mother's locked up. Your father's locked up. Your sisters and brothers, everybody's locked up with you. Because one, it might be a family shame. It might be family like, oh, I don't want someone, you know, I have someone who's locked up. You know what I mean? So your family go through that a trauma. It might also be what he's locked up for. That's another thing the family has to deal with. And it also might be that the family misses you because most men of color in the U.S. who uh, goes to prison between the age of 20, actually between the age of, independent community, between the age of 17 to 24. That's the age black men go to prison. And those ages, they go away for at least 20, 35 years. So the economic strength right there is taken up from the family, because that's one person who could actually work to help the family
Right.
dynamic, strengthen it. Because family here is
Whoa.
cooperative economics. Everyone's ability, your earning power to
Yes.
earn inside of a household, and then that, because by having the
That's
household
one less. That's
income.
one less contributor to the whole process. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
not just that, but that's one, as far as the eugenics theory goes, that's one less person that's able to create a generation, like a family for himself, to contribute to society, to you know go to college, to get married, all these rites of passage that young men are denied because they go a different direction, because own a car, little things like that, own a house,
Yes.
because sometimes the times that they give them is what we call a football number. That's the NFL. Who's getting 35, 40 years. By the time you come home, you're like 60 years old, no kids, you never owned a house, you have no credit. It's your economic strength is gone.
Yeah. So
You're
17 to
basically, you've been
24. That's yes.
that's the
17
age
to
they take
24.
them.
College. That's college. All of that kind of a thing. Intellectual
And
capacity decreases. All of those things.
and
Whoa.
then you look at
That's
and that creates a ripple effect in the community, because there were
yeah.
5 communities inside of New York that contributed greatly to the prison system, and that's inside of the 5 boroughs. And like I said, if you have 73,000 men locked up, it's down. I think it was like 40-some thousand, because of pushes like the organization that push
What you
back
guys are
against
doing.
things.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that shows you how you destroy a community economically, how you destroy a community, and how you destroy a race of people. Actually, you wipe out whatever economic footprint they can create. Less black-owned businesses. That's going to cater to the needs of black people first. Just like how we have, as Jamaicans, when we are here, we have our own culture. That's you rather buy a Jamaican hardwood bread than buy like the regular size bread, because of just the taste. You rather eat
Yeah. You
a
support the you support the local. Yeah. Right.
not just a local, but the food tastes different. You rather have some if you eat meat, if you're into stuff like that, you rather eat some oxtail, or if you want to eat a Caledonian saltfish, than eat some meatballs, or some spaghetti.
Yeah.
It's all of that too. So that way you could step in with your ideas and stuff like that. You are extracted from the community. So like I said, everyone goes to prison with you. Everyone goes to jail with you, and jail and prison are two different things. In jail, you still have some of your constitutional rights. That's the U.S. Constitution. In prison, you have none. So that's the difference. That's one of the major difference. How law applies. So
That's why you had to know the law, because you said the law put it there, so you had to know the law.
first thing you do when you get to a place, you go to the law library and you start studying the law. There's a law library there. Study the law. You see the book, open the books and see, because they give you a piece of paper. You've been charged with these. You see the paper, go to the law library, find those numbers on a sheet, like a 125.25 CPL law, or like 135.35, all different things, or 115.10. You find these laws in these books, and then you read up what it is, what constitute it, what are the prongs, whether it be 2 prongs, 3 prongs, for them to prove it. They need these 3 things to say this is it. Just like in order to build a religion, you need deity, creed, and scriptures, and you could build a religion.
Yeah.
That's what law is. You find out what are the prongs that these people are using to prove this against you, and you be like, okay, this not so this a lie. And be like, this a lie too, so no like this alone, so we could attack this, and you create an argument, and basically you are the law. But like I said, we also encourage people not to get entangled with the law, because you have people who are they play to win, they play for keeps. Hope you catch my hint.
Yeah.
Them not play fair. Yeah, them not play fair. Yeah, trust me, them not play fair. Them play for win, and they don't play with honor. Like I said.
Yeah. Then I see a couple of the commenters. 1% that the U.S. penal industry is big business,
Yes,
and
it is.
how
Yes, it
is
is.
How so?
It's business. When you go there, you have commissary. Commissary is where you could buy food. You can buy from TV, cigarette, everywhere thing, down to shoes, to clothes, all the way back onto food. Buy anything, but you have to have money, and then you don't keep your money. Your money is kept in their bank. When your family sends money, they keep their money and they issue your money on a piece of paper, like an IOU. Say your money is all of this, but then they break it down. You can only spend this, this, and this. That's one way is big business, and so you have to buy product to bring that one way. Another way is it's an industry. People work there. People actually work there. You have pastors who work there. You have teachers who work there. And this is their jobs. You have engineers. You have plant managers. You have welders. You have plumbers. You have all type of people who work there, and they come work. And when 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, whatever the shift is finished, they leave. They go home. But you're still the person who's there doing time. You're still there. You uh, you have guards that this is their job. You know, some of them get $74,000 a year just to work there. You know, just to come do their shifts. So it is like the person said in the comment. It is big business. So they're not.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's $1 billion business.
I see. This other person says, Boss Thomas says, it is alleged that in certain community in New York, they can do evaluation on young boys from third grade to have an idea who will go to jail and prison.
So that is called the school to prison pipeline. Yes. And what they do, they create certain structures in inner city schools. They take out the social workers out of the inner city school and they put like one or two police officers or stop guards, people in police uniforms. When the kids are coming to school, they have magnetometers and x-ray scans running their books and stuff to it. And then they have lines on the floor when they walk, or they can't go over this line, they gotta follow this line. They're conditioning them. That is exactly how prison is set up. Exactly what I said to you. That's how prison is set up. And researchers, like myself, when we did certain research and we found these things to be true, and we presented evidence and show you are conditioning people in a way to the dynamics of prison, how the place is, and they do this in school. And like you said, children do live what they learn, which means there are things that you're going to see inside of your community where they know these communities that where it's a lot of crime, it's high crime and violence, and less positive young men as role models, because like I said, some age these men left, so
Yeah.
the men are drawn out of the community and stuff like this. So
these things, I'm wondering if anyone has ever said these things to even young men in Jamaica, that listen, I like what you said, that you don't go to prison alone. The family goes with you. Though they are not behind the physical bar, they are part of the whole process for that 30 years.
They're mentally there with you, because you have a mother who she's worried if she's ever going to see her son alive. You have a father who's worried that, oh, where did I fail my son? And a sister like, wow, I miss my brother. Or a brother like, wow, I had a brother that I look up to, and he's taken out. So it's not just you, like I said, it is your entire family, and you have to understand how that type of impact is how that type of impact affects them psychologically, because there's even when you have a lot of brothers and sisters, there's maybe two brothers or two sisters within that bunch that you are closer to, and unfortunately it might be that close one that you're closest to than the rest of your siblings that is taken out and is taken to a place like that. So if our young men or young boys are growing up in Jamaica, they realize that you're not the only one there, because when you're there, who are gonna send you money? Who are gonna buy your food? I must your family member then. You understand? So it is the same thing here, the same dynamics where when you get there, the girl who you think said they love you, I lie, she telling her she don't love you. Not she had the first she had the lightest person in the world, but you lie to her. No, listen, she had the lightest person because she don't love you, and you'll see that when you get there. But you have to understand, you lie to her too, because you promised her, by how you guys are talking or whatever, that you're gonna be by her side too. So whether you go to something silly or not or something else and get yourself in that, it is fair to say you lied, someone lied too. But yeah, even she's gonna upleave friends who you think is close to and like this, they're gonna go upleave too. And then you will see the real people who are standing there. And 9 times out of 10, the real people who are standing there, only ones left are family. They shoulder the rest of the burden, because to send your packages, to give you money to spend and all this stuff, because You're not getting money in the prison industry like that unless you're part of certain programs. You need family, and the family is going to send you money.
I'm wondering if something like this can be communicated to like some of the inner city youth in Jamaica. That when you go, for example, when you go to prison as an example, here is what happened, right? Um, like I said, the community. Because the stats that is shared for the United States, I don't know, but I feel like it is similar in Jamaica. That most people get arrested, the largest population in our prison is probably 17 to 24, or 18 to probably 18 to 26 in Jamaica, which is very similar, which is that the educational wealth, the strength, the backbone of what our community should be. So if a community loses all of that,
The
then
generation to come is doomed.
yeah,
Your
yes.
generation is doomed. It's the cutoff because you're not building able-bodied men now to say, okay, we've taken the mantle this far. It is you guys' time to take it up and go different places. So now you're gonna have these 70-year-old people that's been in the same job for 50 years. Okay, working in the same job for 50 years, which they have a right to, but society is not allowing its young, upcoming, promising people to participate effectively, economically,
And this is
academically. These things,
predominantly with blacks. That in
it's
that prison
predominantly with
population.
poor people. It's
Oh,
predominant with blacks too, but it's also predominant with poor people, and that's poor people across the racial lines, black, white, and Hispanic. Because you will see white men there too, and you're not gonna see as much. You For every 100 black men, you'll see one white man. That stats might change now, but that's usually the right stats. And then you'll probably see 50 Hispanic men or 30 Hispanic men. So, like I said, the economic engine, the strength of the black man, it's taken out of the community, and it's taken out of the family.
yeah. All right. I see Winston. Winston. I see El Granero saying Calabar. Probably is a Calabar man. You know the Calabar people. I mean, I don't know man. The Calabar people. You understand it? As a
Okay, what's
Cockney
going on?
says, it's some Calabar people, girls marching on or something like that. It's just they just have to say something. So big up all the persons from Calabar in the comment section. But we
I must say Rabalak for life, Rabalak.
Rabalak. Yeah, Winston Berger says, understand that Michael John has major investment in prisons. I don't
And
know.
so is Charles Barkley.
And Charles Barkley, when they say they invest in prison, like they
Um, Prisons sell socks, prisons sell
oh
sneakers, prisons sell radios, they sell watches, they sell everything. And then whose name I saw in prison a lot? The hairbrush and the toothpaste holder. It says Bob Barker on it. Bob Barker was the guy who hosted
the game
what's the
show.
show? Yeah, this game
The
show on
game
TV.
show.
It has Bob
The
Barker
price is
name on it.
right. The
Price is
price is
Right. That
right.
dude, yeah, him. That's Bob Barker's name on it.
The toothpaste. Whoa.
Yeah, the hairbrush and the the toothbrush holder, it has his name on it. I was like, okay, so it's big business for a lot of people.
Okay, this person before the game says the prison industrial complex, which is PIC, he says is a major part of the US economy. The PIC is traded on the New York stock market. It is a profit system.
I don't know if it's called the PIC, but I know it's called CCA because we try to fight against that. It's Corporation Corrections of America, CCA. That's who they are. They
Oh, so
control
your
that.
organization opposes that?
Hell yeah, there's different. I've worked with various organizations, not just one. I've worked with organizations right now where they fought and the phone calls in California, prison phone calls in California is free. It's not because your family has to pay to speak to you, and that was a lot of money. One time it was like $2 a minute, stuff like that. People fight it down till they get it down to I think about $1 a minute or so right now. But one time it was $10, $5 a minute, all that stuff. So imagine speaking to your family for 10 minutes at $5 a minute. That's a phone call and a phone bill your family has to pay. And this is the reason why I said it's tied into the system where you're not there by yourself. Your family's there with you because you're costing them money just for them to speak with you, find out if you're doing okay. These are the things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is some interesting stuff. But the program is working. The stuff that you're doing, you're seeing the effects of it, meaning young men are being turned away from that pathway, and then others who have been there are coming through just like you, having their degrees and going on to, and I mean, how does that work? Is it easy for them to get jobs once they have come out of the system with their degrees? Because that sometimes is also an issue.
Yes and no, and it depends on where you are. In New York City, the 5 boroughs, they have what is called Black the Box. And because, and those are organizations that's before me that I know of, Just Leadership USA, that help to, they speak with legislators to help to carve legislation to have people who are coming back be able to participate in the economy. You don't want people to come back and do the same thing as go part of the revolving door of prison, going in and out of prison. And you don't want them to come and commit crimes in your community. So, these are people who, organizations, they've fought to have people, create like a more of an inclusive chance for people. Like, you will get considered on your academic qualifications, start over basically, as before you went there, if you show that you have made the necessary steps, to rehabilitate yourself. And so, discrimination is always going to be there, but it's not as flagrant as it once was. So, people will come on, people will get the jobs. I have friends who they are part of the PhD program right now in Colombia. Came home, did what they didn't know, they're doing their PhDs now. So they'll be able to have a doctorate to their name, even with the experience they've had on their jacket. The last 3 letters of my name, what I was told is MPS. I don't use it, but I was told that, hey, you have these letters on the back of your name.
Yeah, awesome. Our Eagle Republic says it is easier to build strong children than to fix broken
Frederick
men.
Douglass said that.
Yeah, Frederick Douglass, right? So it says, man, we need to reach the young men and women in Jamaica before we lose another generation of young people, which is what you're alluding to. But the issue is stories like yours and the kind of impact you're making there is probably what we need in Jamaica. Don't know if we have this sort of structured program.
You have organizations that are on the ground in Jamaica that we work with when I was inside. That's called FURE, Family Unification Reentry Initiative, by Miss Carmelita Albaras. I wonder if I pronounce her name properly. Miss Carmelita Albaras runs FURE and organizations that help young men and women to reintegrate into society. Find resources if they were locked up abroad and they were deported and stuff like that. So you just get in touch with these organizations, and I think organizations like these need to be expanded and funded.
And need to be known, because people probably don't know.
Yeah,
like I've never heard about that before.
You never heard about FURE?
Never heard about it. I don't know if anybody is in the comment section. This is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Oh, wow.
And this is part of the issue. These things are there and people don't know, because maybe there are ways that if people know, then they could help to fund them to make their work a whole lot more effective than the present they are.
Yes, and agreed, because like I said, we are losing the fight. We are losing generational war, because if you look at how many black men who are, you would say, qualified with a skill or a degree, some type of career advancement tool, are we winning that fight or are we losing that fight? You understand? So it's not FURY, it's FURI. The person who said that is FURI. Yeah. Family Unification Entry Initiative.
Right?
Yes.
So it's Initiative Eagle Republic. Says that never heard about it.
It's not FURY, and it's Carmita Albaras. Miss Albaras runs that company, runs that organization. She even had a book. If I'm not mistaken, her book was on Lee Boyd Malvo. I think because I read some of her book. I had her book. I think it was some. But yeah.
Okay.
But
all right, Levi Malvo. I think there were some recent thing about him seeking to parole. Is it?
No, not parole. To overturn natural life and give him, because the Supreme Court ruled that your frontal lobe is responsible for a conscious decision, and they ruled with psychologists and the DSM-5, because the DSM-6 knows something different about it, but the DSM-5, which is a diagnostic and statistic manual, the book that governs psychology, and the APA, which is American Psychology Association. This is their text. This is their Bible. They said children, people, young men are not developed consciously until the age of 25, because the part of the brain, which is the frontal lobe that is responsible for conscious decision, is not fully developed until you're 25. So I think Malvo was 17 when he committed this crime. So there are laws that says you have to look at the influence around these people. And then
Okay.
we come back to the Freudian and the Skinner. Whether it be biology is destiny or one's environment can create a different person, a different mindset, have you do different things. So these type of psychological principles were applied again and argued in law, to the law. So I think this is the avenue that his lawyers are taking to say that he was too young to make certain decisions on his own. Because he was 17. He was 17.
Listen, like you have to stop me.
If a 17-year-old natural life, that is absurd. Okay, that is straight up absurd. And then
what do you mean by natural life? Because I don't understand that term. When it says natural life,
you will never
means
get out
stay
of
in prison
place.
until you stay
You're
there
dead.
until
You're dead.
Oh.
Means natural life. Because remember, Muhammad, which was the shooter, he got the needle. They gave him the death penalty.
Oh, right. So so the death penalty, but they didn't want to give him the death penalty, so they
Because he
gave
was
him
too
natural.
young. He couldn't get the death
Because he was
penalty.
too young.
Yeah.
Right.
They gave him natural life, and then they changed the law now. Like, your frontal lobe is not developed until 25. He's 17, so his lawyer could argue. They'll give him life with something like a 25 to life or a 30 to life. So he does 30 years and come before a parole board, where he could come out. He could get out after that.
Okay. Interesting thought. I know you also said earlier, somebody's asking which law dictionary you read. He reads a lot of books I don't know. He'll probably give you a list. But go ahead and say.
When I read no law dictionary, you have it depends on the law book. There's no necessarily no law dictionary. You have law books that you read to study the law.
And maybe he's asking for. I don't know if he's asking for recommendation. But I guess it dependent on what you want to learn.
You have a dictionary called Black's Law Dictionary, BLAKS, Black's Law Dictionary. You could buy that dictionary if you're interested in a law dictionary. But all a dictionary is going to do is give you the terms of the law. If you don't know how to argue it, you might end up arguing something that a judge might say, "Oh, this is arbitrary and capricious," and just fling it out and say dismiss.
Okay. So, but did you use the law did you study the law and then use it in your case?
Hell yeah. Why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I? Yeah, what am I, stupid? I just said you have to help yourself first. I said that, you remember?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I just wanted to know, are you just, like you studied and say, okay, well, according to the law, this and stuff.
Just you writing motions. You have to learn to write motions now, But the thing about it is they have legal research classes in there. They teach you how to be a paralegal and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, you got legal research classes there.
Okay. Whoa.
You got legal research classes.
All right. Interesting. Very interesting stuff. Like I said, there's so many things that you shared. I like the work that you're doing in helping to.
One of the most important part of the work is writing. You write and deal with your trauma. You write it out. Not just sit down, because we form groups and coalitions too for help people who are going through situations, when they come home. It might be the change in family. Because, people don't know who you are. People know who left. They don't know who returned. So oftentimes you might fall in the scenario where people treat you like the guy who left and not knowing you are a different person. They will never know. You have to show them. Oftentimes people might be afraid because they don't know who you're coming. People might think, oh, he's bitter, or people might think that, you are, you are way more recalcitrant now in speaking and creating relationships with people. And even, when you were before, because you should become distrustful as a part of your experience. But then, like I said, give people the benefit of the doubt. You open up when they push back, you're not open up to everything people do, or people will take advantage of you. But when they push back, just give people their space, basically.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Very, very, very interesting thoughts. We got one question that I wanted to ask, but it just the mind is getting a little old, I suppose. But it is interesting. I'm glad that, like I said, that you have, because many persons could have said, you know what, I've gone through what I've gone through. I mean, like each top sit on its own bottom, as some Jamaicans would say. But I'm glad to know that you're using your own experience to want to prevent others from going through the same thing and learning from yours, and then those who are going through it to help them to better manage it. How they manage their lives, because your life don't have to be wasted, though you're put in a place to waste away. You control that. I think it's Charles Swindoll that says life is, you know 10% what happens to you, 90% how you respond to it. And I'm happy, just knowing how brilliant you are. It would have been a travesty to know that someone that at 15, 14 was so super intelligent, all that knowledge and wealth just just goes away, and you didn't allow anything to stop you. So that is tremendous. Like
Well,
to
I
the whole
believe the
that's
work. I believe personally the work hasn't even begun
yeah.
yet. We're just creating the platform for the work to come. That's what I believe.
Yeah, awesome. And I know you said that one of the things you had to do is to take back your identity. Uh,
Yes,
Meaning
because
because your name was taken.
yes, your name was taken from you and you were given a number. When they call you, they call your number. When they speak to you, they speak about your number. They don't call your name.
Okay.
Unless like you've been there a while and they know you and stuff like that. But before, call you by your name because your number is on your shirt right here.
Okay. Okay. All right. Boss Thomas, they're asking if you have your own podcast.
No, and I'm not gonna get one either. But
Okay.
tell him he could go to MB6, put my name in, or he could go to Columbia University or the Heyman
M
Center for Humanity
MB
and put my
six.
name in and you'll
M-
see my work. Go to medium.com, you'll see my work published.
all right. So go to MB6.
.com, minutes
That's
before
it.
6. Yes, minutes before 6.com. MB6.com. You could
All right.
go
Let me
to
just type that in. Minutes before the number six or the word six.
the word
I
6,
don't. All right.
MB6 or
Minutes before six.
dot
Yeah.
.com. That is just as a site. And you could also go to Medium and you could go to, like I said, the Center for Humanity. And you'll see works that I've done that's been published.
Yeah. And you also operate your own company now, right? Um,
Yeah, have a little thing we're going to run off. I sell eyelash kits for the time being. But that's where I'm starting, but that's not where I'm going to end. But that's just the foot in the door. We stay already. I just want one foot in at the door. I want to do that.
to kick
But
it wide open.
that's it.
And
And
control the whole house.
it's not even thinking about it wide open now. We're about to build our own doors. We might just
Yeah.
change the door
Take over the whole house.
and
You
take the
understand
building.
me?
Exactly. You know that already. That's how we do it. We just take the building. So, we get that building. So,
Yeah,
now we want to
definitely.
put that introduction to the door and we say, all right, thank you so much. We'll take it from here.
Definitely.
Yeah,
We know how it is.
not much
But
change.
listen, yeah. I mean, anything you want to say in terms of last words to those who
What
are
I
listening
what
to
I
you?
want to say is, I know it's not easy to tell a lot of these young men, say 10, 15, 20, woman on a run through or whatever. But remember this, you're not going to find yourself till you find a woman that motivates you to be a better you. Find yourself because you are the bringer of the seed, but you must also understand the role. Well, actually, you're the giver of the seed, I have to say, but you must understand the role of the person who brings the seed to. Our communities are being decimated by an ideology of greed. Not that you know for like, not that you know for want money, you know, because I'm not there, so I tell nobody about no want money, because that don't make sense, you know. And the best way for help, listen, the best way for help a poor black man is to become a rich black man, yeah? I believe that. All I'm saying is this. Watch out for when the principle move from love to greed.
Yeah. This is going from the side here. Yeah. From principle to greed. All right. So you're saying that you're not going. You must find a good woman who will motivate you to be
a better you.
a better you. You
Yeah.
hear that? Yeah.
Not
Level
one who just,
have. Yeah.
not one who
This
just
person.
going to.
Yeah. This person is saying we should that you should do a lecture with some of these schoolboys as an athlete who been through so much.
Well, you could, I don't know if I have the time. You could set it through you, but I would have to know who this person is too, because I have no idea who this guy is.
No, man. What he's saying is that maybe like the schools, like some of these schools, like you know, like a high school in Jamaica could call him for me to probably do something on Zoom with the young men, like on boys there and stuff like that. If that is something, I think he's trying to find out if that's something that you could do and just talk to them.
It all depends on scheduling, and I wouldn't mind because I believe in paying it forward.
Yeah.
Because Marcus Garvey said you go abroad and you learn, and then you're supposed to come back and build your community. You build a community one show at a time, right?
True. All right. They're asking. Please ask Mr. Blair if he was trained at not by Craig Butler, by the great Wagga.
Yeah, David Hunt, and Alric Clark, Wagga.
And Alric Clark, yeah. Oh yeah, you know what?
I don't know if Wagga was my coach.
Yeah. You know Wagga here, coach.
Danny Lynn, Jerome Waite, Arnett. Yeah, them was my coaches.
Hey, you know what? Oh my lord, I have to send this to Alric Clark because I did an interview with him too, you know, and we spoke about you on the interview when he was there. So I did.
He spoke about me.
No, we're talking about some of the people that he knew and I knew who were at medieval with Andre Hicklin and Kepa and all them guys.
Play with Kepa. Hicklin them did bigger than me. They were bigger boys than me. Hicklin them did a play under 20 with Alberto Free and Irving English. And that was the year they won.
Yeah.
Won under 20. Them they beat Augustone and Fabian Dawkins up at Constant Spring. And then Fabian Dawkins a big baller, you know. Not dark. I think a light skinned kid. What's his name? They got Village, right?
No man, it's not. Yeah man, it's Fabian Dawkins. Yeah man, it's the same one man. He was playing for Augustone. Yeah man.
Yeah, they played for Augustone. And they beat them.
And then he went to play for Village in Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah, he go play for Village at Premier League. I don't know if that team still is around, but Timmy them did win. And Alberta for them, they had won under 20 that year there.
Yeah.
But Wagga was my coach, make him know that. And my Manning Cup coach, when I say, was Liebert Aleman, but even though I never play Manning Cup, I'm going to play Manning Cup at Calabar, but my Manning Cup was Liebert Aleman.
Yeah. Right.
I'm see him here when I came here. Yes, I saw him here when I came here. It was I was playing the Bronx League. I played for Bobby Reds them for Negus. I'm gonna say Liebert Aleman at the stands.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to send it. I'm gonna have to send it to Liebert to
that man from Mr. Aleman. Bless up Mr. Aleman, man. I mean, he must remember me. I know them stand out troublemaker there. He must remember me. He must remember me.
Yeah, man. But definitely, I really appreciate your time. This was such a worthwhile discussion.
I appreciate the invite.
Yeah, man. Definitely. I always tell when they spoke about Bobby Reds of CC, somebody's asking Bobby Reds of Cornwall College.
Bobby Reds was a bigger man for me that time. I guess so. I don't know. I don't know if it's Bobby Reds. I don't know if he was the coach of
right, because in the Bronx League,
not player, because it was Bronx League. Them did a coach Negus. Negus was the team.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think it's the same Bobby Reds.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But so I was going to say that. I mean, you talk about the persons you're closest to, and I think about that community that I say 1, 2, 3, because we were kind of we had other friends at the top of the road, but where we were, it was around 3 to 4 of us.
No doubt.
And coming out of the community, though, I mean, I would say that all of us came out without being trapped by the system that we lived in. And so that's just an evidence to what you were saying earlier about you can tell by the people
Your
closest to
success
you.
in life will depend on the 5 closest persons to you in life. Don't make nobody tell you nothing else. 5 closest people to you in life. That's what's gonna drive you. That's where you're headed. That's how far you will get. So the 5 of them around you, one a lawyer, one a doctor, one a nurse, one a chief, one a Indian. Chances are you might be somebody too.
Definitely. All right. So blessed. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Looking forward to hearing a whole lot more from you. I just see you probably being invited even to back to Calabar to talk to some of those youth on some boys' day and just schools just to offer inspiration and motivation and a pathway to a better life in the midst of the difficulty. I see that happening. I don't know it work out, but I can envision that with the
I
kind
would
of
say
story.
two things. Let's see if it work out the way it's supposed to work out. 1 and 2, from your lips to the ears of God.
All right. Bless it, definitely. All right. Before the game says what is the name of his organization? He works with several organizations. And one is JIE.
Yeah, I work with 7 organizations. I work with Worth Rises. I work with the Center for Justice. I work with Jamaica Progressive League. I work with several organizations.
All right. Yeah. God as boss.
I work with
God
the
as
Centers for
boss.
Humanities. Just depends on the work that I'm doing and the time that I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And what we are trying to get done.
Yeah, man. All right, yeah, man. So enjoy the rest of your day. I know you had a long day as well, so get some rest and
Yeah.
man.
I gotta go to work tomorrow, so.
All right then, yeah, man. All the best, and thank you so much, Nascimento Blair. We call him Nostradamus. You understand me? Yeah, man.
Thank you so much.
They asking if you're related to Big Blair.
Everybody always said that when we used to play football. Hugh Blair. I know the elder, the Ras, but we've never had conversation before.
Yeah, man. All right then. Yeah, man. Blessing.
All right, blessings.
All right, so there you go, people. Another intriguing story and interview, and I am sure sports. I'm telling you, these stuff, I call them stuff of legend. All right. If you know a youngster, listen. Here's what I want you to do: share it with somebody. It's an hour and 18 minutes, man, and let them listen to it. Right? Let them listen to it, and maybe something in it will help them. So big up to every single one of you. You always say, management, you need to do more of these stuff, right? But you know how it is. Sometimes with these stuff, we don't get the large views, but we still do it because it's so important. Because we want to provide life change. Yes, his father named him after Pele. You understand me? You understand me? So blessings. Yes, Cece, I'm so sorry, but yes, that's what his father named him after Pele. There was a big Pele fan. I'm so sorry about that. Big up Gunners boss, Eagle Republic. Before the game, El Granjero, all the other persons. CC Sports Lab, bless up. Owen, thank you as well. Oh my lord. Levon, 1738, bless up. Boss Thomas, always good to have you on, man. Ice Burger, yummy, said he bought Eagle Republic. He bought your merchandise. What was that? And what is that Eagle Republic? Tell me about it, please. Unseen Sports, up and running, Chris Roman. Winston Burger, yeah, man. IT Push, JC, man. Ozzy Cockins, yeah, man. Up. Chris Romans, you know how the thing go already. Yeah. So big up. Romario Lawrence, I did talk about the game on the earlier show. Fresh God, Manchester United. One United, he says. Although I call them 6-3 United. Yep. All right. No, somebody up the stream said that they bought your product. Look, Eagle Republic. Ice Burger Yummy said they bought your product. So I'm trying to figure out what product that is. What product you sell? Because when I hear about product, you understand me, Eagle Republic, that's what you're going on with? Yeah, so yeah, Brady versus Patrick Mahomes, Tampa Bay versus Kansas City. That's gonna be up. So bless up. Have a good evening. Man, this has been I Am Sure Sports. It was my pleasure as usual being with you. Enjoy the rest of the evening until we meet again. We say we are over and we are OUT out of here.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Erdis, the body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Orchard Race, Galtigo Bay, everywhere. I Am Sure Sports, check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha, yeah. Someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.